Welcome back to the Flow Sports Fix on this Thursday. We've still got some AFL tipping to come for you with the Stat Man, some NBL action with Dan, and Courtney coming up with her Sports Express. But right now, continuing the Flowman's preview of Football League, starting with this one, the Adelaide Plains Football League.
Last year, the Plains participated in football despite many leagues not playing. Adelaide Plains did, but two of its clubs, Balaclava and the Hummocks Watchman Eagles, decided to withdraw. And in discussions I've had with folk, some have said that maybe it was a premature decision to do that and perhaps they should have played. Then there was the Butte Footy Club where the York Peninsula pulled out really early in the piece, but Butte said they wanted to play for the sake of their juniors. And you've got to remember, Butte's have been a really great producer of great kids that have come through at a higher level, and as a result they did play in Adelaide Plains. They moved across for the season and that became they filled, I guess, one of the spots left vacant by Balaclava and Hummocks Watchman. Interestingly, that Butte is just over the Hummocks Hills from the Hummocks Watchman Port Wakefield combination. But it was season 2020 that did see a grand final in which Butte made it there but didn't win it because it was the very powerful Malala side who came out and took another premiership. And they have dominated Adelaide Plains football with 27 premierships since coming into this competition in 1904. And they've also been very good in recent times. 2007, 2009, 10, 13, 16 and 20. Very much a regular, every 2 or 3 years, Malala bob up with a premiership, and that seems to have been part of their history of being able to do that regularly. Other clubs that have had some success are the Balaclava Peckers. They came in 1940, and they've had success, but not in the last 10 years. They've actually 10 years this year without a premiership, which is a long stint for them. 2011 was their last one, and it was 11 years before their dynasty, when in 2000 they won on top of 99, 96, 94 and 91. Golden era for the Peckers in the green and gold outfit, but more recently struggling to get those premierships. Other clubs that have been in the competition, Hamley Bridge rejoined the Adelaide Plains in 1984. The Bombers in red and black, they won their last premiership in 2014, but traditionally been the whipping boys in more recent times of the competition and haven't had a lot of imports into their club and haven't had the dollars that a lot of the other programs have with cropping and so forth to ensure the ability to get some good players and talent to top up their local numbers. Hummocks Watchman Eagles are the merger of the Watchman and also the Port Wakefield Football Club back in 1995. And look, since that time they've had 6 premierships, 2001, 3, 5, 6 and 8, a golden era for the Eagles. And then a huge win for them in 2019, a real surprise I think for many. And Two Wells Roosters come back to this competition in 1987. They've had 4 premierships since then, 87, 12, 17 and 19, a bit of a golden era in more recent years. 3 premierships in that part of the era. United Tigers, they're the amalgamation in 1964 of the Long Plains Tigers with Dublin. And 3 premierships. It's been a long time between drinks for the poor old Long Plains Tigers. 82, 95 and the last one in 2002. Gee, that's a long time since they've won a flag. Virginia Rams came back to the competition in 1995, have won 4 premierships, and that includes one in 1909, back in the early days. But then they won in 1998 and in 2015. They have certainly put some good sides on the park in recent times, but just not able to win the premierships. Finally, the Anglevale Owls came to the comp in 2016 from the amateurs and haven't troubled the premiership stakes at this point yet. The sheer competition begins on the 17th of April. Anglevale play Virginia at the Anglevale Oval. The Owls will be hoping to beat the Rams, one of the big arch rivalries it's building because they're just so close up the road from each other. Balaclava play Malala, a bit of rivalry here too. With the Balaclava Oval, the Peckers get a home deck. Can Malala come back for more premiership glory, or is Balaclava destined for a premiership after 10 years in the wilderness? United, the Long Plains Tigers get Hamley Bridge. They'll get a chance to start their season, the Tigers, against the Bombers here. Yeah, it feels like a dream time, doesn't it? Might be if the United were to win a flag after their last one in 2002. And the Hummocks Watchmen Eagles, they'll be raring to go after a year off last year. They play at their little Port Wakefield Oval, a bit of a postage stamp. They love it there. They play it well, and they should have a good start against one of the perennial real powerhouses of the comp in recent times, Two Wells Roosters. It's going to be good to have Adelaide Plains Footy back on Saturday, April the 17th.
And we'll be featured in the Flow Winter Sports Show, which is coming up starting on Friday, April 9. Looking forward to that. The team getting together, the Flowman and the Statman, bringing you football and netball action right throughout our winter season, and looking forward to the start of the first one on Friday, April the 9th. Well, the Flowman, did he go off to training last night, and did he put the boots on?
It's footy training and netty training time, and as I was going about my work with businesses, catching up with them, a number of them said they're training tonight. Maybe you should pop down there and have a look, Flowman, and so that's what I did. Good invitation, and I'd never ever reject one of those if you can get to one of the local ovals while I'm out and about on our footy previews. And by going out and having a look at the Ouyen United Kangas at their great oval at Blackburn Park, and hearing a bit about what's going on as they get prepared for 2021. They've got some really good plans in their seniors football. It was great to talk to Dallas Willsmore, who is a former AFL player at Hawthorn and also SNFL, played a couple of years there with Westies, and before that too with the Box Hill Hawks, had a premiership there in 2018. Had a word to him about coming back to the club and what it meant, and he said it was just terrific to be back home and to be able to play for the club that gave him a start. The underball component now, of course, of the Ouyen United Kangas, and said he was looking forward to helping out with drills and training, doing some really good work. I noticed just when you watch a guy that's had AFL exposure and they come back to their local club, they do some things in the practice drills, even when there's some 10-year-olds present, that just show them to be just that well-trained, and that maybe that little bit extra that they've had exposure to, just their way they conduct themselves too, even with media. It was great to be able to be part of it. Look, they had about 45 at their training and their seniors. Some of those would have been under 18s and some under 16 boys, but in chatting to some of the legends of the club like Wayne Grace, was able to get a bit of a picture of where they're going this year, and I think that they're going to really go well at senior level. They may struggle in their junior level, particularly in their under 14s, where they just don't have a lot of the boys at that age group, so there'll be a lot of under 12s coming up to play in that part of it. Went over to the netball courts and was very, very quickly reminded that the girls from the Ouyen United Kangas are the defending premiers in both their A and B grade. So look out, Flowman, they said, because we're coming again for the Sunraysia, and we're looking forward to getting going after not playing last year. I watched a bit of a trial match that they had going with their senior players and saw a couple of their coaches on court playing. Deshani Burns too. She was having a bit of trouble there getting access to the ball for a couple of those warm-ups. But then I watched a couple of young girls, and they were really, really good. I reckon there's a good future at the Ouyen United Kangas. They're going to blood some really good players into their senior ranks this year. You just watch out for that, and I'll be watching out too for some of the boys coming through. Young Pengelly, I reckon he could be a real star of the future. I like the look of Liam Munro, really moved real well, and there's going to be some real tough opposition. Bradley Valance was putting him through their drills. He is the coach, along with one of the great backmen of the club, and that is none other than Dean Jardine. I'll be looking forward to seeing how the Ouyen United Kangas go in Sunraysia football, and we'll be covering their netball side too this year. And if you'd like to get on board with advertising to help us bring it, we do still need some advertisers to do that, so get in touch with me, sales, SALES, at flowfm.com.au, or just say good day to me in the street. I'd be happy to help get you started with your advertising and get more reports out of our local areas.
As I've said many a time, have a chat with the Flow Man, whether it's about politics, sport or bakeries, or how Flow can help your business. It'll be a very fruitful conversation, and one that you might be able to take advantage of. I've said it before and I'll keep saying it. Have a chat with the Flow Man. You will be glad you did. So you can get in touch with us through our Facebook page as well, and we'll get you in touch with the Flow Man, but have a conversation with him. But there is a caveat, though, I'll have to put in there. If the Crows are winning and doing really well in football, you might want to make it a short conversation and not bring up the Tex Express. He's back on board, Tex, and all the rest of the Crows players. How will they go this weekend against Sydney, and some of the other selections that you might want to know about? Who's in your footy tipping? Well, the Statman's going to bring us the 9 winners for round number 2. Believe it or not, he told me the 9 winners are coming up for you next.